Ah,
Hmm.
ó ní mo ti wọlé tán. Thank God tí mo torí bọ méjèèjì. Bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn student náà ṣe ọba fura sí group kí àwọn ti sọ mí di group leader. Mo ní okay. It's not by only one person be doing the work. It's a contributing work. You be doing your work. I will do my. Come on, you're the prof. But no, I'm not the prof yet. Because they will bring the problem. I will pay. I did that calorie online 30 minutes. I call on software. I call juicy for one. Àbí clear my shit. No lower data. No communities. Which is born you. But I'm happy, the two. It's a twine experience. A very good experience.
At least you will be able to know the quality one.
Yes. So tí bá kọ research lórí the two schools. So kẹsàn mi di prof now.
No problem. Wàá tètè di prof. Iṣẹ́ owó ẹ̀ ló bá pè é di prof.
Owó rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ló ń lo owó o. Tí a bá ti fọkàn sí pé I want to achieve this thing. Bó ṣe máa wá me, I don't need to know. God will provide. Yeah. That's just my faith. Ọlọ́run ló lo owó. All right, ma.
Okay. Getting to this level, let's talk about development theory. I know that many of us will be looking at it, pé èwo tún wà ní development theory. And this is the area tó kàn wá gangan nísìn as a social worker. Because when we talk about development theory, we will go and look at those things, those theories that we put together to describe how changes occur in the society and how these changes could be best achieved so that at the end of the day, we will now look at what are the recent trends and why do we think development theory is one of the theories that could make senses to us. Now, let's start from the modernizational theory, which is talking about analysis and processes that is taken to classify a particular constituency or ward or country or places as a modern society. The beneficiaries of the natural things and artificial things that contributed or constitute to the economic development of such society. So, modernization and the traditions of what takes society to look at things in a different way, not just one person now, the whole of the society, they look at things in a different way. And this is based on different research they have carried out, and they have been able to demystify some things that people have tagged as mystery, as myths, and they are working on it like that without even looking back to ask why, how, what really happened. Now, let's take an example from a researcher, a Yoruba scientific researcher, who recently went to Ikogun waterfall. And for ages, even myself, I've been part of those who believe that when you go to that place and you go to where it is hot, you take your time and pray 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 and pray. And then you go to the colder side and say, Lord, Joe, they can't hear me to buy. Then they give us the mystery of not missing these two sides of the water together, even though they are flowing in the same river. None of us has ever think of asking ourselves if they say that this water cannot flow together, what happened? Why are they not flowing together? The cold and the hot one. Recently, some group of people went there, they put the two water together and shook it, nothing happened to the bottle. But in those days, they made us to believe that we cannot combine the two water together because one is hot, one is cold, that it will break that bottle. There's nothing like that. Then they went further to intensify their research to let us know that there are some molten under the side where we have the hot one, which instead of it to bring out this molten stage of volcano, is not bringing out the molten stage of volcano because the surface that blocked it has made it not to come out. But the place is so hot to the extent that the weight that could have pressed that place to give us volcano is not allowed, because once it is very hot on your leg, you quickly leave the place. You cannot spend up to 5 minutes on that surface because it's so hot. So no pressure is on that rock. So volcano cannot come out. But instead of volcano to come out, we'll be having warm and hot series of water like that. And we take it as a mist. So modernization makes the scientific researchers and proofs of so many things that has been make a mystery, a magic to be nothing but seeing it from a perspective that will not be a mist to us again. So that's what they mean by modernization. They bring about all those traditions that takes the society backward in those days and then put it on the table and demystify it. That's what they mean by modernization. So at this end, that is why so many countries, especially in the continent of Africa, is still tagged as underdeveloped country because we have not been able to demystify so many things that we have made to be a mystery. We are so lazy at looking at those things from a classical perspective and making those principles to derive the progressive ideas that will take us out of where we are. You can look at Nigeria, for example, now. The economy of Nigeria, instead of it to move forward, it is moving backward. Why? We will always sit down in one place and blame government. We all want to have the white collar job. Now, white collar job has come to us. We did not think about all those things that made our society, our economy grow in those days. Why nobody has asked the question of why I was growing? Somebody like me, I usually tell people I was in school then. Initially, I went to Unilag. I spent some years in Unilag before I left Unilag to another school. They give us food. They always give us food. And apart from that, the 2,000, if you have 2,000 then, it's a very huge amount of money. So from my 2,000, I go to London on Friday. I buy all sorts of goods that I want to sell. By Sunday evening, I'm coming back to Nigeria. In the morning, I'm in the class again. I leave on Friday evening and back to class on Monday morning. The currency we are now having as if is a disadvantage to us, as if we have not existed as a country before, as if nothing has happened to us. I will tell you the reason now. Those days when I'm going out of Unilag, I still have some of my friends that are still in the fashion industry, and even with all our studies, they refuse to go back to school because of the gain they have in fashion industry. I design boo boo, and those days our boo boo are not even with stones. I design boo boo with sequins, with some of these Tinko designs. Once I cut my materials, I take them to Obalende. I have malams that work for me. They will do the design on it. By Wednesday or Tuesday evening, some of them will bring it back to me in the school, or I'll go and collect it on Wednesday morning if I don't have lecture. By Thursday and Friday, when we are free, myself and my roommates will design all those clothes, we'll do the finishing. We have a male among us, and up to today, he did not go back to school. He only did that first degree and he continued with his fashion world. What will the maid do for us? He will help us to do ironing and do the knitting. He will remove all the extra thread and what have you. And we will do our packaging. So on Friday, I'm going to London. I will sell all those materials. I will buy shoes, bags, and some other things and bring it back home. On Monday morning, we are in the class. Monday evening, one of us will go to Balogun, distribute all those bags, shoes, and everything, and collect money back. And like that, the economy is favoring us. Ask those children of nowadays who are even leaving secondary school at the age of 14, 13, what they can do with their hand. All this knowledge was given to us those days while we are in secondary school. Our secondary school was specific then. Please, that person that is disturbing our class should please not do that again. Mute your mic so that you can enjoy the class. Our secondary school those days was like, it's either you go to science secondary school or you go to technical secondary school or you go to, what did they call it again? There's one other one that is made mixed with science and technical. So your parents will prepare the one they want you to go to. Yes, the third one is a teacher training. So they will prepare you where they want you to really go. So in your secondary school day, you are already learning some skills apart from just the normal teachings of all subjects that is so cumbersome today. And we are wasting our knowledge speaking big English, but unfortunately, we are not there. So the advantage of modern theory is for us to look at progressive ideas like the one I introduced to Ministry of Education, and I thank God that our president is taking it and they are not taking it for granted. They really wanted to implement all those ideas so that we can have a changed society. Nothing is wrong with us introducing some skill ideas to our children right from the time when they are in primary school. Then when they get to secondary school, we advance it. And by the time they get to university, no child will have time to go and do olosho or engage in drug because in the first instance, they have a lot of skills that they can do. Secondly, while they are in the secondary school, towards the time they are finishing their secondary school, they are already introducing them to exhibition, international exhibitions, and some other things that could fetch them money. So in essence, they are not going to rely on what parents, the society will bring back to them. Rather, they will rely on what they are going to contribute to the society so that the society can advance. So with that, all those currencies that are so higher than our own, people will come in to come and buy our things. I can tell you, after finishing my university, I used to do adire. I used to do adire in bulk and I sell it. I also sell it in bulk. And up to today, I still do adire in different designs. Even with my knowledge as a professor and everything, I still do my adire. Because you might not be able to beat me. Sometimes I mix my adire with batik and everything. My styles are unique. So all this knowledge, by the time we go and we are unable to pass it over to so many children, it's going to be in vain and the society will remain where they are, which will make us to be backward. So as of today, we are not yet a modern society. We only wasted our time to take some stupid, unwanted cultures and civilization from where it shouldn't come from. And we mix it with our own culture, and the cultural shock is on our children today. You will see a 13, 14 years old children already on drug. You will see women that will say, hey, my husband has left me with children. They are already doing nonsense that their children supposed not to see them doing. And these are part of the problems that is making the society to be backward. Because if a woman has a lot of things on her table, she will not depend on anybody. And once we are independent, the interdependent institutions will make us to be strong. We will interact our culture, we will interact our social unity, and at the end of the day, we'll be very strong to the extent that no other foreign body can come and do nonsense with us. You can see what happened between Nigeria and Japan recently, about a week ago, because Japan believed that no Nigeria can interpret the nonsense they want to do. They have forgotten that we have some of our children that are studying in their universities and they have the foreknowledge. And thank God for our president and some of his team. Once they send message to them, they give it to those children to interpret, and they were able to know that they were only deceiving them to enter a stupid treaty with them, and they become a master of nonsense. We are not having dead brain. We have the brain. Wherever Nigeria is, we triumph. Why are we not improving our own society? Why are we going outside to contribute to the economic of other society, and our own society is still in one place? So we should all work together to ensure that all these things are put in place. So modernizational theory is telling us about how to have division of so many areas of specialties within a particular society, how to ensure that with these areas of specializations or specialties, we are very good at whatever we have known to be good at. And then we also promote all of this. We thank God for the Oni of Ife. Immediately he comes in, he ensured that the issue of visa in some countries that we are making it to be a big thing was demystified. Apart from that, he promoted the use of ashoke, adure within the society, and we are coming up with that. If you go and ask so many of us that were in those generation of the 60s, 70s, how to do ashoke, many of us have forgotten. Even knitting crocheting. Many of us don't know how to do it again. But I could remember that when we were growing up, we used to do crocheting. We used to do window holder with the tin of tomato paste that our parents used to remove then, tin of milk that our parents used to use then. We will remove the head and the bottom of the tin and put our crochet thread and knit it very beautifully. And they used to sell it because I could remember my art teacher used to take us for exhibition. Then there comes Olu Jacob then, who happens to be my teacher while I was in class one. He came to do NYSC with us then. He really puts that idea in our head, and we're able to do a lot of things that he took us for exhibition, and that was where I have that knowledge of doing a lot and lot of artistic work, even when I was a science student on the long run. So we need to put all those spirits back to the children. We need to build our own way of doing our own things, either in the local way or we want to advance it to the urban way, but we must be able to do it and do it well. Many of us now, we collect our salary, we go back to to the market, we use the salary to buy and buy and buy. Then when we finish our salary within a week or two, we will now be counting days for government to pay us again. For many people that knows my house, they can testify to that. I do most of my feedings by planting it myself. Some people, when they get to my house, they will ask me, am I Wole Soyinka's sister? I will laugh. I plant my yam, I plant my potato, Irish potato, sweet potato, I plant it. And once I harvest, that's what will take me to another 3, 4 months before I will harvest another one. I have coconut trees in my house. So you cannot tell me coconut is expensive. It's not my business. I have mango tree, I have orange tree. For many people that knows my house, they will tell you. So when it comes to the other ones that will feed me too, I have chicken, I have goat, I have so many things that I rear on my own. So it's always very difficult for me to take some chunk amount of my money and go to market and buy all those things. I feel so sad. Sometimes ago, somebody told me, I bought chicken. You won't believe it. I bought chicken, live chicken, 25,000. I look at her face and say, well, that's your business anyway. Because I don't see reason why I should do that. So we need to take ourselves out of all those modern cultures that we go and um take, inherit from some other society, and we think that is the way of life. If we don't take it out of our hand, we'll continue to be backward, but we need to grow economically. So by the time we grow economically, that's when we can develop our nature, our nation, and be a very good people. For some people like um some people like anthropologists and sociologists, they see modernization as a thing that has to do with attitude. They see it as something that has to do with attitude. So for for theorists like David Apter, he took modernization theory to political terrain and the historical system of democracy. And if you look at the system of our present president, that's exactly what he is working on. Then we have Simon Martins and Simon Martin Lipset, and then we also have Martin Lipset. So they are two people, but many of their books they usually have write their names together like that. So for them, they see and they argue that when we talk about modernization, we should look at economic development first because economic development will always lead to social changes. And these social changes are the ones that will lead to what we call democracy. He's also looking at the aspect of politics, like David after I've mentioned, but he's looking at it from a different perspective now. He's looking at it from the economic development. He believes that once we can develop ourselves economically, we have different orientation to social change. And once we have different orientation to social changes, then it could lead to democratic changes or leadership. For example, if we want to look at this perspective now, let's look at it critically too. If we can develop ourselves economically, we will it will really change us drastically or gradually from gradual to drastical. And before we know it, we are on the same platform. Look at Nigeria. We always think of religion. It's either we are a Christian or we are a Muslim. It's just recently that the pagans are also, that's the traditionalists, are also coming up to say we are here. Don't see us as if we don't have anything. Instead of Nigeria to grow, we are there to believe what the religion is telling us. And I get crazy when some people, before you talk one, two things, they say, let's look at what the Bible is saying about this thing. Let's look at what the Quran is saying about this thing. I I I hold my head and scratch it like a baby that wants to go crazy. I will look at them and say, what is the problem of these people? Some people wrote the Quran and wrote the Bible because at that period they want to do some interchange with you people that are dumb, that doesn't know what is going on in the other world. And if you look at it, those people that promote these two religions, they are so parish. They are not working. They believe that they have sold what they have to you, and it has changed you socially to the extent that you will save as large as 15 million. And you want to go and see a status of what? Stones? You are so gullible to the extent that by the time you are going to even doing the stoning, they will tell you that you should take seven or nine pieces of stones and parade the place for like 3 or 4 times or 9 times. My God, what is going on? You will save your money, then you bought your plane to Israel and you want to go and put your leg in one river that pass through Lagos, ocean that pass through Lagos, that pass through some of your states, then you will travel to go and put your leg there in another country. I don't know. I always ask people what is going on our head. Is something wrong with us? Or is it because we don't really want to sit down and look at our life and the future of our great grandchildren we are leaving behind? Something is wrong with us. Somebody need to wake us up. You will see professors, you will see learned people. I have sat in the midst of people. Mrs. Akini can bear me witness to this. 2 years ago, I argued with some people. I said, we can walk from Nigeria to any part of the world. Some people say, it's not possible, man. I said, what is not possible? I sat down to study that Atlantic and Pacific Ocean met in Lagos. And if they have offshore, somebody can walk through the offshore. And some people proved me right, not up to 6 months after. And I told those people, I said, that means that the geography we did while we are in school, some people are just in the class to pass. Even those who study geography will come back and tell you it's not possible. Why do we have Pacific and the Atlantic meeting in a particular place? And we are not making good use of those things. I always tell people, London is at the back of Lagos. They don't believe me. They are now getting to it. Many of this world we fly to is at the back of our own territory. We are only divided by oceans, rivers, and so many things. Why are we not sitting down to plan our own economy so that Nigeria can be great again? While I was younger, I used to see Oyinbo that would beg us, please, I want to come to Nigeria, please invite me. Now we are the one begging them to invite us. Then when we get there, we will start to go and clean floor. We start to go and wash plate just because we want to earn money that does not worth it. And at the end of the day, some of us die while working the type of work that we are not used to. Some of us die with tension of work, and at the end of the day, you get paid. You pay for the house rent you pay alone is enough to build mansions in your home. Then there come cold. You still want to go and do extra work. And once some of them, once they sit on that ice, they die that way. So we need to change our orientation for us to be able to gain a modern society. Now, what Rostor identify the stages that we can use to develop our country and meet an advanced economic status. He said, firstly, we should identify our traditional society. What are the traditional societies? Once we identify our traditional society, then we look at the preconditions that will take us to take off. Then we plan our taking off. And then we drive this taking off to maturity and look at the issue of mass consumption of whether our idea, our services, or so of whatsoever we want to put our head in. And this is indirectly the masses theory, which is telling us about the GDP. Because if we invest in the needs of an average citizen or average population of a particular place, you reduce your GDP by 10%. And by the time you continue to reduce the GDP of the consumption of what you take outside your own terrain and increase your own GDP at home, you will promote expansion. And by the time you start to promote expansion, you have a lot of things to do. Look at us. I told people that I did orientation for about 3 months before I traveled. I engaged them in a sandal and slippers production, palm shoe production. And I told them, I said, go and buy your materials. I will teach you how to do this. By the time I teach you and you use the model methods of doing these things, you will do this palm and you will never go to market to buy palm shoes again. They thought it was a joke. They were a group of men. I taught them how to do their palm. Even as at yesterday, one of them was still telling me, Ma, come and teach us how to do shoe. The palm you taught me how to do, I'm still using it every day, be it rain, sunshine, and it has not removed. But the one I bought, I don't use it up to 3, 4 months before the mouth will open and I will push it somewhere and buy another one. Now tell me, if we have orientation of this type of development in 4, 5 places, men are doing, they are buying palm every day. We can start to do production, and by the time we got exhausted with different designs, we will have the courage to change the design and put some other things and make it attractive and also sell it out. We have made our country a dumping site for so many people to look at. So for modern theory, that's what they are always telling us. We look at our structure, we look at so many things and see what we can do to make it a very, very good thing by going through the linear stage, like I have said before. Then we have too many criticisms of modern theory. Yes, criticism will come because many of us that are in the first world will never want the people in the second world or third world to be very okay. And by the time we don't want them to be okay, we will we will always put so many things to shock them off so that they don't think about what they can do with their life. So I want us to go and read very well on that modernizational theory so that we just don't say, hey, yeah, in modern society, yeah, in modern society. What makes us to be modern? Then the issue of dependency theory always come up under the modernizational theory. Dependency theory is one of those theory that make us to think critically about the follow-up follow-up of so many things that we have put in place for development. How does these ideas, decisions help the structuralization of whatever we are putting in place? And how do we think that we should not depend on some other things that are going to come in from some other globe or developed part of the world? Now, let's take ourselves back to the sandal class I mentioned earlier. You know, if you look at the Chinese world, you will see that they really made themselves to be free from so many things. And they start to develop some machines that help them to cut off so many things that will make them to depend on some other developed world. And with this, they become a specialist in so many things they are doing. We have people that learn how to do wedding. We have people that learn how to do repair machines. But it's always baffle me sometimes. Some people will tell me my head is robotic. They will hit the head when I die. I say, when I die, you cannot gain anything from the head again. So gain it while I'm alive. One day, I was in Lagos. I was discussing with some group of um, people that sell a machine. And they were saying, shoemaking machine is very expensive to import. Oh. I said, why are we importing shoemaking machine? They all look at my face. They say, can you use straight sewing machine? I said, yes, you can use straight sewing machine. You only need to change that mechanism that is taking it into leather and bringing it out. And the man sat with me and said, it's like you are making sense. I said, I'm making sense. When you are buying parts of machine, don't they tell you that one hand is longer than the other? The man said, yes. I said, now put the long hand in the straight sewing machine. Let's see what will happen. The man tried his best. Say, me, I like women that usually challenge my sense of humor. I said, just put it. Let's see. He put it, and we put a belt, a leather belt, and the machine sew it. I said, so why do we need a shoemaking machine of 700 and something thousand when the one of 100 and something thousand can do it? He said, you have made a sense. So dependency theory make us to think out of box, bring out ideas that will be a internal domestic use that could be dynamic within our own area of specialization. And by the time it is exposed to the world, people will buy the idea and they will start following it and they will be specializing it. Who knows that Chinese people can take some samples of adire, put it on their machine and start rolling out textiles that looks like adire? If they don't value adire, they will not do that. But unfortunately for us, instead of us not to take that idea, we took the idea and we are using the textile made adire instead of our own made adire. And this will make our own adire to die a natural death. Because once people can see that the other adire textile, you can buy it for 3,000, 4,000. While our own adure is start for 7,000, 8,000, depending on how you get it from for yourself. Or we think that it is not mandatory that we use. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I think out of box, but then dependency theory is just telling us that you should bring out your core ideas. If the materials you are using to produce the other adire is so expensive, I could remember while we were younger, there is what we call teru material. This teru material is a knitted fabric that they do like a ashoke. Then, then the Oyo people used to teach the children how to use this our thread. Remember, we are the one that make thread. Oh. We are the one that plant thread. Oh. And now I don't even see wool again around us. Those days, we are the one that used to export wood to the other world. Wood, wool is not a thing that we cannot plant in all our compound. While I was growing up, because I live with my grandma, while I was growing up, the whole of Shomolu, Bariga, I think Ikorodu people invested more in kola nuts and some other things. But Okpebi, They invested in coconut and some other, all this okpebi you are saying is coconut and palm oil, palm nut. So those days, all those things are the things that you will see in so many places. Wool is everywhere. Every compound planted wool. And before you know it, during the harvest period, sometimes government officials come, they harvest the wool and take it away and give you something in return. But at least you will be happy that the wool, they are taking those wool from the seeds of whatever you plant and you are enjoying the breeze of that tree as it is going. But these days, even when we buy land and we see wool there, we'll cut it off because Omonile will even come that land, there's tree there, you have to pay for it, and so many things like that. So dependency theory is telling us how to rigorously think about bringing ideas, bringing some alternative means of progressing and not to depend solely on the ones we bring out from other countries that are well developed than us. So by the time we bring these ideas and then we use it, we will be able to save some money and some resources to ourselves. And with that, the countries that are not developed up to us will also be looking at the way we're doing it. And before you know it, they will, instead of going for the most expensive alternative means of doing those things, they can easily come and engage or buy from you and make you to have accumulated wealth again instead of you going out to send your own money out to because you want to buy expensive materials. So in essence, dependency theory is telling you to look at the possible raw materials that will bring in contribution to the success of your progress. So, and with all of these systems and the world system theory and dependency theory, it brings about the new masses, which we some of us have come about in the school, and then the world system theory, which is now giving us the semi-peripheral and the peripheral of some natural resources, labor and relations, which we are passing through now. That if you study medicine in a particular country, by the time you get to another country, they will ask you to go and do the examination of that particular country so that you you will be rated based on what they believe in rather than based on your capability. But unfortunately for us, because we are in need of money, we still want them to give us any stipends they can give us. But at the end of the day, by the time we are proving our worth, they could make it to be meaningless to us. And you can see what is going on. By the time you say that you have discovered some things, they will only come into your domain and buy you off that domain because those who are even in your domain, they are not really they are not really interested in whatever you are doing or whatever you are claiming to have discovered. So this is really messing many of us up and is getting us to where we are today. Now, the dependency theory now took us to the neoclassic theory. We are still in modernizational developmental theory, please, so that you don't get it wrong. We are still under developmental theories as it is applicable to us. And these ones, we can also look at it from different critical um angles and look at the applications in our different field of study. Now, the neoclassic theory became more influential towards that 1970s, and this bring about the election of Margaret Thatcher, Ronald, and some other people in the world who really shifted the made approach of dependency to that of their own, which bring about the structural adjustment program, which affected many of us up till today, because the World Bank brings in the International Monetary Fund, and this was aimed at reducing government spending by introducing the austerity. Then, when they introduced austerity and they saw it that it works for them, because we have agreed that we will be devaluing our money every week or every 2 weeks, and we started to devalue our money, while their own money started to appreciate, because whatever we brought out to sell was counterfeited, and they tell us it's not up to the standard. It's not up to standard, but they make sure that our things pass through some other Western coast. We did not take up the structural adjustment program. All those things that were not up to standard, we will be forced, or we will be left with selling it to the other Western coast, where they will now go and take what is not up to standard and buy it from them, because they are not willing to do the structural adjustment program. And by so doing, countries like Ghana, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, and some other countries were able to gain more strength than us, because they promised to subsidize some things for them, and they were all having those things within their means. And this bring about a very serious austerity, and before we know it, it was a thing of what we should not mention again. Then the issue of privatization came in, and they still tell us that once we privatize, the government's money that was reduced will give us the ability to improve efficiency and financial performance. So they introduced their private company and some other things. And that was what gave Obasanjo the shock of why, after the green evolution of 1976, why did some of these governments decided to go back to what we call this issue of privatization and the austerity. And remember, that was the time that the issue of petroleum boom into the market, and unfortunately for us, we are unable to gain what should be the profit of the petroleum. Rather, we are losing the currency because of the structural adjustment program that we have embraced earlier. So our currency continue to devaluate and devaluate and it's not only Nigeria that it affected. It affected some other countries, but they really abolish the international board market and tell them that they are no more interested in all of these global markets, and they were able to regain some strength back. But we are still working on that in Nigeria. We have not been able to regain those strengths. Rather, we are still there fighting vigorously with the financial institutions and economic institutions. And this is the level where we are today. And we are still looking at what to do to gain those strength back. But before we can get those strength back, we must have what people are interested in having. So by the time we have what people are interested in having, we'll be able to gain our strength back. And by the time they come for what they are interested in having, then we will have the other part of it. But funny enough, even when we were doing the devaluation of currency and some other things that was disturbing the economy, they 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 set up some economic advisors who have been able to plead to the conscience of our political leaders and to tell them that they can gain more than what they are gaining by having a side saving, which is different from the country saving. And that is why you will see that many of our past leaders have savings outside the country. And this brings more devaluation to our currency because the money is being saved in another person's land and they are using it to develop their own land. So it is advisable that I don't know who is going to preach to the conscience of these people to revert this idea again so that they could be saving in Nigeria, they could establish in Nigeria and stabilize things. Because I was surprised if we have petroleum and somebody is so gullible to go to another country and go and invest on a petroleum industry there when the country that has the petroleum is still suffering from not having enough petroleum. So we have a lot of things to do in this area when we talk about the structural adjustment. Then the post-developmental theory is one of the theory again and have different school of thought which talks about sustainability of so many things we have done. And unfortunately for us, this idea brings about the issue of mental structure, the mental structure, the ethnocentric, the underdevelopment of what is wrong with us, and the post induction or post inducement of what they believe that we should have. So they talk about the structural change, they talk about the solidarity, the reciprocity, and the traditional knowledge, but unfortunately, they are not there. They are still deceiving us. So I'm giving it to those of us who have gone to school and come back to still tell our people that, come, taking these people religion to the other side of the world is nonsense. Let's also promote our own religion. If Brazil can come and learn some of this religion from us, then we should promote our religion. If that is what they could buy, let us do magic for them. Let us do mystery for them. Let them believe that we have voodoo, and then our religion will continue to grow and the knowledge, the traditional knowledge, will not die completely because this is just one of those things that can bring back all those lost economic variables that we have in the past. So by the time we are having all these structures, bringing them back gradually, asking people to plant their yam inside sack. It's not compulsory that you go to a very big farm where Boko Haram will obtain you. Stay in your house, plant your sustainable food that could sustain you and your family. Then from there, you will hands off your hand from what they have in the market. And before you know it, those who come for those who are in the market, those things that are displayed in the market will be those who are visiting will be those who wanted those things by all means and they couldn't get it in their own land because it cannot grow there. So they will start to have those things, and they will be able to sustain the economy of the country. So the gas emission is also there, which they are still planning to cap up to tomorrow. We have the solar energy, which we have not grabbed from. So all of these things are the things that we are talking about. So looking at all these things, the developmental theory now asks a question. All these theories come together and ask a question. When we talk about the structure, the things, the economy, the political, and this, who are those people that will put these things in play? Then they talk about the human development theory. This theory is the issue of the origins of ideas such as ecology, the developmental, that's the sustainable area of it, the welfare and the economy, the normative politics, the social capital, and so many other things that we could, and the sustainable development itself. So they now think about what they can use as capital to deploy valuable human beings who can put all these things in place and make all these theorists to be able to have the viable ideas that could be used properly at the right place in the right volume. And they brought about the issue of United Nations Development parties. They put all of this in place and they decide to write policy for us. They decide to publish journals for us. They decide to publish report for us. They decide to give us the economic drive and the well-being of every individual that is involved. Now, what do we do as a social worker, knowing all of these things that we have been mentioning before? We need to try as much as possible, since we are the one meeting the humans that are involved to sustain the society. We need to still go back and work on how we can parent accurately, how we can parent accurately. Let's start from our houses to our children, to the children of those around us. Because the modern society, the socialization has made us to forget about the African orientation of the communal structure. We are now looking at independent structure of structuring our family to be single families, and even some families that you want to structure communally. Some people have some stupid orientation, and before you know it, they start to tell you they are using their destiny, they are giving them a headache, they are making use of them, they are counting on the opportunities there, and so many other things, which is not there before. The unity and everything must be brought back. We have to learn how to live together and spread our tentacle to bring in good things to us, and not spreading the tentacle to give away all we have in our hands. So thank you for listening. Any question? Let me stop here for some minutes and let's ask questions, then we do our revision. Thank you all for listening. Wow. Thank you, ma. Oh. I don't know if it's there in my place. I'm hearing cracking voices.
Yes, the network is bad. It's
I think
raining
it's the
here.
network, man.
Oh, sorry, 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 sorry. Mr. Akonde, you sneakily enter my class. Okushe. Madam Akini is not in class today. What happened to her? Please ask
I
question. You
think
are
he
very
took
free.
Yes.
she
Thank you for the
sent.
question, ma'am. I I really appreciate what you just the way you put in your own life story into the lecture today. It really stimulates me and encourage me to do more because when we are not all born from a rich family, but I decided that I saw some family, my uncles that used to go to London, come back, I Paris and all that. I said I want to be like this person. And from my childhood, I began to walk in their path, despite all odds, and make sure that this thing I want to achieve, and God is really helping me. Now, when I started my OND in 1997 at Federal Polytechnic Offer, because I was staying with my aunt, which the husband is a medical doctor, promised me when I had they would do this, they would do that to me. I would wash their clothes, do everything, iron, agbadala, and all that. After doing all that, they will condemn me. But I always believe that whatever they are saying, that they are doing for me, is a training background for me. I'm teaching myself. I'm happy doing it, believing that I'm gaining more than them. So when they ask for something, I'm the one that will provide the solution. Even up to driving, I teach my sisters on how to drive. So invariably, when I got to the polytechnic, I paid for the first semester, then I got stuck. So what I did was going to buy a camera because I went to the motor brand. I saw that this produced girls, they will snap, they'll be happy. But I didn't see this thing. Then I talked to one of my friends and I learned how to do the photography. We go home for more than a year because am I coming to Lagos to do again from Kwara State. So and I begin to use the camera to make money. I have a room for my own. I robbed my room. I bought CD. I bought hot plate. I was living good. Then a lot of friends began to troop in. As they are trooping, I say, these people no know me. You too, you have to be doing something. We will go to engagement together. We will make money and we will all spend it, pay our school fees, pay other people's school fees. So it was going on like that. So I really see that what I was doing before, which I thought is maybe me, I'm not from they are not rich people, they are not from rich family. Oh. Though we have names, we have other things, we have rich people in the family, but they always class themselves and they don't want to deal with this father, this mother, and all that, which is part of the issue we have in our culture. But at the end, all those so-called rich family, rich people, by the time I look back now, they are nowhere to be found. Those BB car Peugeot 504, 505 then are not in vogue again. The houses they are talking about, the houses is no longer there. Some of the houses sef, the children have sold it, have used it to travel abroad and come back with nothing. They are now renting house, staying, they're now looking at, am I doing it? Maybe because it's working with government. I laugh. When I joined the government, the same principle I used then is what I used to substitute. I didn't even know when they pay salary. Me, I would just be doing one or two things. So I'm really keen into what you said today, and I see you as a mother figure. And even when I'm living now in the government quarters, everything we are eating, Yanopaja, Efotete, Gure, Atarudo. I even have animals. I have ram, I have sheep that are giving birth. You know, last year I did some chicken, though I was not so perfect with it. Some of them died, but I on December I served food the whole street, the whole community less privileged. I was so happy that this me for sure I can do this. You know, it's really good
to develop, and this story is a very great one. It's very impactful. If we can use half of this, it will really help us as youth. There will be reduction in drug trafficking, in drug taking, because idleness and loneliness push most of this our youth into substance. I remember the initiative we did at Mushin when they were fighting. There's a Yeti Foundation which I joined with my own initiative. We brought them to our barracks at Nafri Barracks here. Inside Nafri Barracks, they have funding. Those who are doing Akpe for Ewa going, how they are doing it. It's just sand and clay and all these iron bender things, cans people use to just melt it and form that thing. So I see that a lot of them that are fighting because they are idle and because of pressure, what to eat, or egoism, super ego, different negative vibes, social devices begin to come in. But by the time they are engaged now, so we also got to the photography section, which I said, wow, this is what I used to use before. Invariably, I came to the HOD of that place. He told me 1 million, I'll be using like 4 million, whatever. I went to Aaron Lawyer. That's why I don't usually send my salary and then, okay, what am I going to use to get another thing? What next? What we use one step to climb to another one? I went to Aaron Lawyer. I went to go and buy camera. I bought camera. I changed the lens. I spent close to like, don't let me measure it, but almost 2 million naira. So just doing that, then I went to Keja to go and buy Canon printer. So anywhere there is event where I'm sitting down, there is light, it is a memory camera. So I will snap, print it immediately, give it to them. They will pay because they're in the merry mood. Before I know what is going on, the money is coming back gradually. We did where people at Lasot, one of our classmates who is a venerary reverend in the class, I won't mention the name. He has worked in Shell, in Chevron. He has been in Baltimore, that's in US. So he came back. He said, "I want to empower people." So he have this employee assistant program, EAP. So in the class, I was the last person to even volunteer, number 25. So I went to Ikeja with them. I just decided, oh, go, this is an event now, showcase what you have. With my old memory, I did a very good shooting to the extent the man was still asking me, Smith, bring the photo to me now. And I use it with what they taught us in how to use, make use of drive. I use it, I zip it, I sent it to him. He was asked, how much do I want to collect? I said, sir, don't worry. Just give me what you feel like you should give me. Because I know that kind of man, I want to register myself to his heart. He knows a lot of people. Present personnel manager in Shell came, in Total they came, in Chevron they came, and we were just like big family. I was overwhelmed for 2 days. So I just told him that. He said, like, how many pictures did I take? I said, like, maybe around 400. Eventually, I took more than 600 pictures. So I have to remove some, edit some, but I was engaged and I was fulfilled. I feel like, no, what else? Even President go, is not achieving like me, because what I was imagining, just kind of visualizing, now it's into reality. The same week, one of my sheep give birth to another ram, and the way it was just, I was videoing it. I was happy. If this can be emulated, that's what I said, this little bit of this development theory, we can just emulate it and be using it to even preach in churches. We should not allow religion. I'm a Muslim, that's already classification. I'm a Christian, it's another group. Me, I'm seeing churches and all these Muslims as clubs, as a society. that you just go and what do we do there? We sing, we check this one wear good suit, this one wear good clinical, but at the end, it pushes a lot of people to stealing, to fornication, to prostitutes, to different form of social devices. So I really just want to appreciate you, ma. You are really done a lot, and I thank
Thank you,
God that
Mr. Smith.
I'm saying
Any other
yes.
person, do you have any question, please?
It's a comment. It's not a question. I just want to comment.
Question, please.
Thank you so much, ma. As I said earlier, the teaching of today.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning,
And
sir.
good morning, class. Yes, ma'am. We, in fact, the lecture of this morning was a great one. And also, from what I've also deduced from it has really taught me a lot. Also, that at least in this journey of our shoot work profession, we just have to identify, like someone like me too. I like diversification to at least gain knowledge from here, gain knowledge from here, and it has really helped a lot in line of my duty here. And I want to appreciate from what you have said, man, the other time, that we should just put our hands in one place, so more, but then we should be able to navigate there and there so that we can gain what we want to gain. So just like what Mr. Um, Smith said. So it's a very good idea. Thank you, sir. I really enjoy what you said, sir.
So let me wish everybody good luck in your examination.
Yes, ma'am.
Yóò
Yes,
dá
ma'am.
Yes.
lágbára Olúwa.
Amen.
Ma.
I want to ask,
No,
ma,
no,
is
no.
it going to be in form of OBJ, or what's the mode of examination since this is your first time?
Èmi kọ́ lèmi ó examine rẹ̀. Èmi mi ti ṣiṣẹ́ tèmi
The
tán.
format, the format.
Èmi ti ṣiṣẹ́ tèmi tán sẹ́. Ó kù kí institute the sort format dáhùn fẹ́ lò. I'm not the coordinator.
Ah, wow.
Sorry, mommy, you have forgot. You said you will teach us some things, ma. Where would that be,
Yes,
ma?
I did not forget. It is
All right,
left to
ma.
us to pick dates now. Let us pick.
Okay.
Let's you people to have meeting within yourself. Let's pick dates so that we can do that, whether before your examination or after your examination. I'm always
Okay,
good for you people.
okay, okay.
Class rep, Liko, work on that too, so that we will not miss
So
money.
that's,
Eh,
I think it's about research, how to
There are
write
two things we are
research.
doing. Oh. The
two
first
things.
one is on research. The second one is on what do they call it? How to network.
Yes.
Okay.
How to form an NGO and network.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes,
yes, yes,
yes,
yes.
that,
It is true, ma. Yes, ma.
yes,
Mm.
and that is where money is.
Yes, that is it, though.
Ọmọ mi olówó. Mo ti rò pé mi
Ah,
Hey now,
mi tó twitter.
smithology ni ma, smithology ló ń pè mí,
Mommy,
smithology.
I want to also ask, ma, when we don't know which month will be convenient. Is it this month or next month, ma? Will be convenient for you so that we're able to know when we are going to put the date,
Me,
ma.
I'm on holiday now. I only
Okay.
The
serve
month is already
holiday
over
till
now. This month is over now, Ogami.
this month
This
they
month
turn.
is
Okay.
over.
So
Okay.
I am
Yes,
on
Okay.
holiday
I mean,
till
I'm talking about next month.
yeah.
okay. I'm on holiday till
No,
30th
let's do it
of
on time.
September.
Okay.
But
You see?
immediately I come back from holiday, I will not have
Okay.
time for any student again.
You see? You see now.
Okay.
So we have to
I
do
will
it
not have
before
time
advance.
for
We have
Okay.
to check this before
because
advance.
we have to prepare for conference.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, conference.
Immediately I'm out of holiday now. I have to prepare for conference and some other things. So it's after the conference that I will have time for students again.
Wow.
So for your class, you might not meet me again till you
Ah.
finish your class.
Hey, mommy. Ah. Wow.
Yes.
Ah. Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
So if I teach you how to start an NGO, how to network, I think with the lectures you have from Professor Yeme, who is going to take you on grant writing.
Okay.
If you are very, you should try as much as possible to be in his class always so that you can learn that grant writing.
Okay, ma.
Because that's the only thing that can help you. So you can look at societal issues, then you bring up your proposal on grants and look at the organizations you are going to send the grants
So,
the write up to. And thank
okay.
God, the present president we have in Nigeria is giving universities grants. They gave them
Okay.
grants this year to the tune
Okay.
of,
Yes,
is it
yes,
300 and something billion?
Wow.
yes. Prof said it
Yes.
in one of our lectures.
Yes.
Yes,
So
that's
it is better
one
for you
scholarship.
people. It's better for you people to be
Work
part of those
together.
grants.
Okay.
Yes, work together. So
Ah.
you need to use your initiative to work
Okay.
together. Like if
Mr.
I
Smith.
finish your class now, I want
Okay, ma.
to do. I am already on one, and one professor is really on my neck. So I gave him a concept note, and he was on my neck that I should draft it out. That is interested, and some other people in the whole world are interested too. So it's on a, what do they call it? This our drainage of our knowledge and expertise in the name of
Oh,
visa and the green
yes.
card.
Green
So
pasture.
they
Ah.
are doing trafficking with the knowledgeable and skilled professionals.
Okay.
So many of us that are skilled, that are knowledgeable, it is when we get there that we know that we have been trafficked. So for us to
Wow.
Hmm.
come back, is always very difficult, and we might end up having many cases I have done. Many of them end up having mental problems
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. We have a lot of
Wow.
because
them
they,
with us. Yes,
because they
you are
don't
right.
believe themselves,
Hmm.
falling into such trap with their knowledge and everything.
Hmm.
So you can also do so many of those things. You can do research on those who are really doing this importation of these drugs and how they get it into circulation. Government is interested in that. How they get it into circulation, or you do a research on advocacy on discouragement of the use of drug. That one, the ex-governor of Lagos State, Buba Marwa, is in charge of that fund and is really giving it out to people who are ready to work with his organization to they really want to get to the root of how the drugs are being taken in and how they are being introduced to schools. Sometimes ago, I did a research on that, but they almost take my life off at Ikorodu. We discovered that so many of those food vendors
Robbers.
in schools So
Yes.
food vendors in schools, food vendors in school, especially the boarding schools, they are the one that introduce drugs to those children. They put it in their indomie and some other things to eat. So in Korodu, then we raided some. That was when the education discouraged that there should be no selling of food in schools again. So Atikpo Chemical Port, they started in school, mixing Fanta with yogurts with lime and some other drugs. So all those things are the things that all of you can still work on. You can form a team of yourself and work on those things. There are a lot of places that have lot of issues. Ikorodu is a hidden place. They have a lot of traffickers among Ikorodu elites who are doing that. Then some of these elites, they don't transport themselves on public transport or private transport. They take it through the sea, through the
Yeah.
sea. You so you will not know them, you will not see them, and they work as if they don't have anything on them. But they always board sea to their locations. So those who will take it from them to are always on the offshore of the seas. They take it and they also move away as if they have not done anything. So those are
Hmm.
all the areas you can also work on so that we can move forward. We need to develop the country. We need to develop the country. So as a social worker, you are not just a social worker, you are a spy, you are a police informant, and you should know the
Yeah.
type of police you want to inform. Because if you inform the wrong police, they will come for you. Mhm.
Hmm.
They will come for you. So you have, in fact, don't mind the ariwo jazz of those professors in the formal schools. Most of them, they don't know what social work is all about. Too. I
Yes.
still
So
tell people, and I gallantly tell people, they just saw social work as a place where they can make from, but they don't really know what it takes to be a social worker. So with these trainings that we are giving to you people, if we can have more people that we can train on this field, they will be able to help us tell the world what social work is all about. And then we all work together to make the whole world a peaceful place to live. Because kékeré làwa rí Nàìjíríà o. Many other countries are really crying about the issue of drugs among the youths, among the women. They are
hmm.
really, really crying. If you go
that
to
that
North, if
that
you see the way women are using drug, you will cry
yeah.
for them. They use drug
That's
to
why
the
I
extent
said
that
first.
they can even ask their father to sleep with them in the North. And because of what? Because they want to wear abaya, because they want to be seen as people who are already there with their friends. So they ask their uncles, their father, everybody to sleep with them just to give them money so that they can buy abaya. But they can do the abaya with their hands. They can do a lot of things by themselves. So we have a lot of work to do, like I said. So you might not come across me again till you finish your program, but try as much as possible, arrange the two classes, let me know the date so that we can ask the institute to give us some hours on their what do they call it?
Platform.
Zoom, so
Platform.
that we can talk. Or we do a Google platform for ourselves, the Google Team platform, so that we can talk for a very long time. So it is left to you people to plan your dates. So I'm
Okay,
available
ma.
for if you can plan it very fast. I will do the lecture. I will prepare purposely for you people. I won't drop it off hand. I will drop it with materials for you.
Wow.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma. Thank you, ma.
Mommy,
So,
please, ma, I want to ask, ma, do you have
I'm
any
really-
material for us for this your class, ma?
me ò ní
Yes.
o, I always tell you people,
Ah,
tó bá ti jí mi lójú oorun, tó bá ní kí n máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa theory, máa sọ títí. Tẹnu bá ro mí ni máa ń dákẹ́ o. Oh God.
Yes,
And
with this that we have for you now, which you can go and
mm,
develop. You are not in secondary school. For me, I'm starting to be corrected because I can see
mm.
the way you are saying it. I was first of all confused, but at the end, I see that you've touched everywhere, even with your life experience, which is more make it to be more professional. So I understand. So it's on the system. You can just get it, and with this recordings,
Yes,
you
now
can.
that's why I always pick your recording. When they say recording, I pick on it. So you can go and pick on them and develop them. But when it comes to theory, I will tell you why I am crazy about theory. If you ask Ajibade, he will tell you. When
He
I
asked
was
me to define
doing
theory. He asked me to define
my
theory. I said it's a frame of
when
thought.
wait, when I was doing my master in sociology, I happened to meet him in last two. That was no, I think yes. During my master's in social work, he was still an undergraduate student. But when I went back to last two to do my master's in sociology, that was 2002, 2003.
Mm,
So he's one of the young graduates that was doing the assistant follow me professors. They have not made him a lecturer then. So we were doing
mm.
presentation. Ah, ó máa yà mí lẹ́nu. Ajibade ó mọ sọ fún ẹ pé if you look at the work of kìnìkan, the theory of kìnìkan, mo ní
Yes,
ṣé wèrè lèlè theory ló wá fi lé ayé ẹ̀ka ni ẹgbà mí ké.
40 ló dà sí mi gbá. Ó ní máa yan. Mo ní Ọlọ́run bá mi yan.
Ẹgbà mí lọ́wọ́ bọ̀bọ̀ ike. As if that was not enough. The day I was defending, Ọba lọ mú this man from Unilag wá, Professor Balogun, bóyá Balogun Kúkú ni o, I don't even know the Balogun tó jẹ́. All his hands were filled with rings, golden rings too.
Wow.
This man will say, you lifted the work of kìnìkan in the book. Ìgbà yẹn kò tí ì sí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì báyìí o. The book of kìnìkan, page kìnìkan from paragraph 1 to kìnìkan. Mo ní àyè tí ya wèrè sá. Sọ síkù mi pé ẹ ṣáà lè parí.
Wow.
At the end of the day, the man said, try, ó mọ̀wé jíkọ dáadáa, mo tiẹ̀ láìkí ẹ. Bó ṣe ń jíkọ ló ń change ẹ̀. That's good. It's not plagiarizing.
Before encore.
That's good. I will only free you on the condition that o mọ bó ṣe ń túwèé tó. Ọpọlọ wà nù ọpọlọ ẹ̀ ṣá. That was how I was free.
Wow.
So I have to go back home and say, theory. Ajibade and Balogun have shown me pepper. Èmi náà mọ theory by me.
Kó wá Jíbádé mo wà báyìí o. Professor Jíbádé.
Wow.
I
Wow.
bought Alarambat náà pé. I bought that book and I read it from page 1 to page 800 and something. It was the 4th edition I bought that time. That book is all about theories in sociology. Mo ka ìwé yẹn, mo ka débi pé ó sú ọkọ mi gánjọ́ kan ni. Ìwé yìí ṣé kò ní yẹ ń wèrè, mi kò kúkú níyà mi wèrè, mi ní ìyá wèrè. Ṣùgbọ́n pé
Yes.
èèyàn kò gbé theory wá àwọn òbí èèyàn rè. If you ask Prof, he will tell you, say, abeg, when it comes to theory, go and meet your mama for Lagos. Na she and theory dey work, no work with theory. We do not treat stupendous theory. That's the theory of stupidity. We did not treat it because I left that because I want you people to go and read on it. And it has to do with rationality theory. That is where pure theory of idiot came in, theory of stupidity came in.
Yes. So what
It has to do
prepare
with
you? What
rationality.
makes your what makes your policy to be stupid? What makes your decision to be yes?
Yes,
I come, but
that's
I've not really
idiotic and stupidity theory, and it's there,
yes.
and people are making use of it.
Hmm.
So tó bá sọ fẹ́ lómi kò stupid ńgbà mí, ó yẹ kó rọra lọ wá yàrá kan kó kàn tira ẹ̀ mọ́. Kó kàn máa bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ara ẹ̀, am I really stupid? What make me stupid?
In psychology, that's what they call reverse psychology. Under that, all those
Mm-hmm.
How
stories.
are you? Well done.
Mm.
Okay.
So
So area
let
of
me leave you.
NGO and grant this thing. Me, I will be stopping you. I begin to
On what?
yeah.
We'll be calling you, ma. I will be calling you too, ma.
For what, sir?
On NGOs formation and grant writing.
If
I know you.
you are lucky, if they give you to me on supervision, but all of them are moving one for other people from supervision. Ẹ mọ bára yín pọ̀.
Ah.
Ọlọ́run tá à ń sìn ẹ̀yin náà máa fún wa.
Níbo
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o.
wọn lè gbé mi nìkan, wọn lè gbé gbogbo yín fèmí nìkan fẹ́ pa mí ni.
Ẹ
That's
fún
Ah.
mọ́mì Ọlọ́run sì ní
Èmi
yóò.
ló máa fún èmi lọmọ yín. Èmi máa padà sọ́dọ̀ ìyá mi.
I just very
Kí
few,
ló
man.
dé? Kí ló dé?
Mr. Akin, nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀
Sa.
nìyẹn. Èmi lọmọ màmá. Èmi
Ah,
náà ní
kì í
sọ́dọ̀ ìyá mi.
ṣe ìnìkan ni màmá bí o.
Ah,
We thank God. We thank God. We thank God. Thank God.
it's been
Thank
Pray
you
for
so
us.
much, ma.
Ẹ
Really
máa dán lélẹ̀.
appreciate it.
So let's
Ẹ
work
ṣé.
on those 2 lectures we are going to have as an extra lecture.
Yes, Mr.
So that
David Diko. Let's keep
let
to
let
partner.
let somebody work on that and then give me feedback so I can do my plans and then give it to you back because
Okay, ma.
I'm not the day now. Ó di ending of the month ní tó padà sílé.
yeah, man.
Wow.
Ayọ̀lẹ̀ máa dé.
Ayọ̀ lẹ́nu dé, ma. Ẹ ṣeun gan ni, ma. God
Ẹ
bless
bá- ẹ bá wa mú ṣokoléètì bọ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
Èmi
o.
tí wá jẹ́
Ẹ ṣáà bá wa kó ọ̀ká kó bọ̀ kọ́ mọ̀ pé ìyá wa kan lọ lóyìnbó bá mú
ó
wá ká
pọ̀
kó fún wọn.
ó pọ̀ Nàìjíríà jù bí lọ.
It's just a culture. They
Ọlọ́run
turn it to culture. Táwọn ọ̀gá mi náà bá ti travel wá ní ẹ lọ ẹ bá máa gbó bẹ ẹ bá mú bàtà bọ̀ ṣokoléètì iṣẹ́ fẹ́ bẹ yín mi jẹ́. I
chocolate
swear.
pọ̀ Nàìjíríà
Yes.
because tó bá
Yes.
convert owó tó máa fi rà á bíbà
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni
wàá ló
bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
máa lọ àpẹ nílé.
Exactly. At times say some of my oga comes and ó yá fún ṣọmọ Èkó ó yá wá lọ sí Island. Gbogbo
Tàbí
àwọn kan tó fẹ́ fún wọn pé láti máa lọ rà ní dọ́sìn ní wholesale. Aṣèwà máa pọ̀ àwọn yẹn máa fi pé ètò ìdìbò lọ́wọ́ ní nígbò bá dẹrù ṣọmọ ẹ tó ń wọ
níbo
kílò lọ́wọ́ tó dé. Yes o yes but àwọn Chinese máa gbé wá in large quantity lórí omi ló máa gbé wá to be cheaper compared to flights. Thank you ma.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, ma.
much, mommy.
God
Bye-bye,
will
ma.
bless
Take
you.
care of yourself, ma.
Yes, ma.